Okay, so I don't have to answer this question 97,000 times. I've decided to do a video that I can point people to every time I've masked it. Is Chris Watts prison infected? The answer is no. Stephen Avery's is, but not Chris Watts. Let's look at the reason why. So let's see how this got started. Chris Watts is at the Dodge Correctional Institution. Now, the Dodge Correctional Institution is located at 1 West Lincoln Street, Waupun, Wisconsin. The doctor that tested positive for the virus COVID-19 does not work at Dodge Correctional Institution. That doctor works at the Waupun Correctional Institution, located at 200 South Madison Street, Waupun, Wisconsin. That's the crucial difference. "18 inmates have been quarantined, and 11 prison medical workers have been sent home after a doctor at the Waupun Correctional Institute was infected with coronavirus." Now, Brian Foster, the warden, said, "Be assured, we as an institution and a department are taking this situation very seriously." Foster was not specific in his email about who had been infected, but we later learned from the mayor that it was a doctor that had been out of the country recently. Now, that prison holds more than 1,200 prisoners, and that makes it about 140% over capacity. So illnesses spread quickly because of the close quarters. The prison has implemented a new cleaning process to ward off the illness, according to Foster. Now, Anna Neal, a spokeswoman for the Department of Corrections, did not immediately provide other details about how the agency is dealing with the incident. Foster provided employees with guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that said they do not need to take any action if they're not experiencing symptoms such as fever, coughing, or difficulty breathing. The Waupun outbreak comes as advocates for inmates argue that the state should release those behind bars who are the most vulnerable for this virus. In a news release Thursday, the Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee argued that it was not feasible to quarantine inmates because there is so little room available in the state's overcrowded prisons. The American Civil Liberties Union of Wisconsin this week said more than 4,300 inmates incarcerated by the state are over 50, making them more vulnerable to complications from this virus. DOC officials suspended all visits at DOC institutions on March 13th to protect staff and persons in our care very seriously and out of an abundance of caution in an effort to minimize the risk of bringing COVID-19 into DOC facilities. The same day, officials moved to suspend medical copays so that anyone who is incarcerated and exhibiting symptoms related to COVID-19 can seek medical attention right away. On March 16th, officials suspended work release at state correctional facilities effective immediately. Roughly 300 guards monitor the more than 1,200 inmates. One guard who agreed to speak with a news media station on the condition that he remain anonymous noted Thursday there's plenty of concern among his colleagues. "You can't really put hand sanitizer out because the inmates will drink it," he said. Now, Chris Ott with the ACLU of Wisconsin called on policymakers to consider releasing prisoners close to release or those especially vulnerable to COVID-19 because of their age. I think really helps to show the urgency of the situation, said Ott. What we're urging is to look at individual cases. We're not just saying open the doors and let everybody out. Effective immediately, all transfers from state contracted county jail beds have been suspended until further notice for everyone's safety. This applies to all individuals sentenced to the Wisconsin Department of Corrections Division of Adult Institutions, DAI, but are currently housed in a contracted county jail bed. So there's going to be no more transfers at all until such time as the risk of contamination is reduced. On March 13th, the Wisconsin DOC temporarily suspended all visits at all DOC institutions. That includes Dodge Correctional and any other DOC institutions, okay, in the state of Wisconsin. We understand the significant impacts the suspension has on persons in our care and their loved ones, and as a result, we have partnered with CenturyLink to expand methods of communication to use during this time. So what they're going to do is provide 2 free 15-minute phone calls per week until visits resume. To take advantage of the free phone calls, there's information on that website page which deals with all of these changes. There's also going to be a suspension of work release and suspension of medical copays. So the copay is temporarily suspended at all Division of Adult Institutions to allow anyone who is incarcerated and exhibiting symptoms to seek medical attention right away. All visits, including volunteer visits, are temporarily suspended, and they're going to be actively looking into expanding the methods of communication they use during the time visits are suspended. At this time, all professional visits will continue, but they will make accommodations for phone calls, conference visits, or non-contact visits whenever possible. So to recap, no, Chris Watts Prison is not the prison that the doctor tested positive in. Steven Avery is in the one that he tested positive in. But there are ramifications from that affect all of the Department of Corrections in the state of Wisconsin, like the suspended visits, transfers, etc. that we talked about. There is a website that explains it all for anyone that has anyone that's an inmate in any of those correctional facilities. And just wanted to clear that up for you guys. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for watching. Take care.